Welcome back to another episode of the What We're Watching podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jeni, and today we're talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty, Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3.
I'm so excited to talk about this. I feel like we've been waiting for Season 3 for so long.
Yes.
It's been 2 years, right, since Season 2, and it's all anybody's talking about, rightfully so.
I feel like it's not summer without this. I actually don't know what I'm going to do next summer when there's no The Summer I Turned Pretty to look forward to.
Jeni knows this, but I didn't read the books, and I'm like not as up on Summer I Turned Pretty lore, and so I didn't know that this was going to be the last season until I think I saw Amazon Prime or something post on social media the day the first episode came out, the final season of The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I texted Jeni and was like, oh my God.
That's actually like a jump scare. That's really a sad way to find out.
I know.
I only knew because I didn't read the books either, but my sister did, and she loved them so much. And so she's kind of the one that got me into watching the show in the first place. And so I think she must have been the one who told me that it was only going to be 3, or at least that there were only 3 books. So maybe I just jumped to conclusions. I don't know. Sad.
And it's not normal for shows to only do 3 seasons, especially when they're as big as this show is. But I think it's the right move to just do what the books have, like do as many seasons as there are books. I think that's right.
I know, they're not going to be like milking it for all it's worth and like ruining the story. You know,
Exactly.
It's just going to be very to the point and what we need. I like that.
So in this episode, we're recapping the main plot points of Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3. We're also diving into fun Easter eggs from each episode and sharing our opinions of the season so far. Because we've got them.
Oh, we have them for sure. I like that this is more of a chit chat episode than like our typical recaps. We're just going to be sharing our thoughts. It's going to be nice and casual.
Mm-hmm. I will say episode 4 of Season 3 comes out the day this podcast episode drops. So we're going to cover everything up until that. And then you guys can let us know if you want us to keep covering the season because we'll be watching.
I didn't even consider that could be a possibility for us, but that would be so much fun. Because you know that the day that this episode comes out, I am going to be sitting on my couch watching this as soon as I'm done with work.
Of course. Spoiler alert, we are going to be revealing, obviously, what happens in episodes 1 through 3, but not the rest of the season, because neither of us have read the books. I don't know if you know how this ends, Jeni, but I don't.
No, I've had some spoilers, but Jenny Han, the creator of the show and the author of the books, has said that she departs from some things in the books. So nobody knows.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
Before we dive into the episode, thank you guys so much for continuing to leave comments and reviews on our podcast. It means so much to us. One review from last week that I wanted to read is from Carly. She left this comment on our Spotify. She said, "It's Complicated is a sleeper hit. I was not expecting much, but it's a good watch." And I agree, Carly.
Okay, another +1 for me to watch it.
It's Complicated was one of the movies I recommended in our summer watch list episode. So I'm so glad you guys are liking it. Thanks.
We also got some fun feedback on that episode. Somebody wants us to keep giving niche recommendations, like maybe have a segment, or I feel like maybe we could do a whole episode on our niche recommendations that we don't think people have watched.
I feel like right when we started the podcast, we had a lot of post ideas where we were talking about if you liked X movie, then you would like X niche recommendation. So maybe we can do that. Actually, you guys should totally leave us a comment on Spotify with your favorite movie or a review somewhere with your favorite movie. And then we'll use it as a way to say, since you like X movie, you should watch X niche recommendation.
I would love that. That's a great idea.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, Megan and I are really in our creative era with the podcast. We're like trying new things. It's really fun. Summer feels like a time that you can try new things anyway. And some of you know this, but when we first started the podcast, we didn't know we were going to be sticking with nostalgic 2000s movies. That was not our niche at the time.
Or that we were going to do like deep recaps.
No, we were like, we're just going to chit chat about movies that come out in the theater.
Whoa.
And then it turned out nobody had seen the movies that had come out in the theater yet. So we were like, oh, we have to do movies that people have seen. And here we are, which I love. I love that that's just what happened.
Me too. We found our way. So yeah, you guys leave us comments with your favorite movie and we will come up with recommendations for you.
Genius idea, Megan. Some of you may have seen this, but The only thing I really saw about The Summer I Turned Pretty before it launched was that they released an anti-bullying policy on Instagram. Have you seen this?
I actually haven't.
The Summer I Turned Pretty's official Instagram account posted an Instagram story that said, "Cousins is our safe place. Everything good, everything magical. Let's keep the conversation kind this summer." And then they posted another one with community guidelines that says, "We have a zero tolerance policy for bullying and hate speech. If you engage in any of the following, you will be banned: hate speech or bullying, targeting our cast or crew, harassing or doxing members of the community."
Love it.
I love it too.
What is the internet saying? Are people just like commending the show for stepping up and doing this? Because this does not happen usually.
Yeah, what I've really seen is that this has been a problem that has prevailed like a lot of different shows, like Love Island US recently had a lot of bullying of their castmates, and so I think they had to also come out and say something.
I was going to ask if you thought this came off the back of that, because I know Ariana Madix on the After Sun episode 1 week or maybe a couple of different weeks came out and said, like, you need to be nice to our cast members.
Yeah, I just think people are so rude on the internet when they have anonymity, and I think they forget that these are real humans that will actually see what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it also made me think about, we talked about this in our original The Summer I Turned Pretty episode that we did 2 years ago. Wow, throwback. There was a lot of bullying with Elsie Fisher, who played Sky in the show. And I'm wondering if this was their way of like, hey, we are not having that happen again. Because that was really out of control. And good for them.
Definitely. I'm glad they did that. That's really cool.
Who knows if it actually like is going to make a difference, but I guess we'll see. I haven't seen people being mean.
No, me either. I've just seen people be really excited about the show, which is fun.
Yeah.
I love when like the whole internet seems to be like behind a super girly show or movie. It's so fun.
Me too. There's something so sweet about it. I don't know. This is my comfort show of the summer.
Me too. I love it. It just reminds me of the Barbie summer. That was 2 summers ago, right? When season 2 came out? Yeah.
Okay, so I listened to our Summer I Turned Pretty episode today because I needed to know what we said. I wanted to make sure that whatever we said in this episode wasn't like completely contradicting that one. And to be honest, I wanted a recap on seasons 1 and 2 because I couldn't remember them.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, our 4th episode ever of the podcast was The Summer I Turned Pretty.
How's it hold up?
Well, I did have to listen to it on like 1.5x speed, but that was just because I don't know, I couldn't take it. You know, I couldn't take the cringe. I actually thought the episode was fun though, and it did help prepare me for this episode because I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally forgot what happened in seasons 1 and 2."
Okay, this is good. I'm glad you did that because I did think the last few days how I should listen to it and I just couldn't.
I think that if you are someone listening and you forget what happens in shows, but you don't want to rewatch the show, you would like listening to it. One thing we talked about a lot in our previous episode 2 years ago was whether we are team Conrad and Belly or team Jeremiah and Belly.
Oh, I remember this.
I'll just fill you in on what we said last time, just so we're starting at the same point, you know? Last time you said season 1, you were team Conrad, and then you switched to team Jeremiah, season 2. And we even went into like the psychology of like what psychologists were saying about whether you're like team Connie baby or team Jelly. We both agreed that we were team Jelly as of last season. But our hearts went out to Conrad, and we were pretty sure he and Belly were endgame.
Yes.
So, I would like to ask you now, I would like to pose the question. Has your team changed since watching these 3 episodes?
Yes. Has yours?
Yes. Okay, tell me more.
I think actually maybe I just like rooting for an underdog, you know? Like I said that in season 2 I was team Jere because I think like I was like, he's more fun. I am team Jacob, okay? So like I remember we talked about those parallels.
We did.
And I think at the time I thought I was like team nice guy. He was nicer, and I can see how I felt that way. However, now I think I'm just team underdog, which is Conrad in this season. And I want them to be together because I did always imagine that they would be endgame, and we'll get into this, but like I cannot believe how far down Team Jelly we have gone. Whoa.
Whoa, indeed. I didn't think it was going to happen for him, to be honest.
Like at all. Like at the end of season 2, I was like, cool, this is going to be a short-lived situation. And season 3 will be a roller coaster all over again. And we will come back to Conrad for sure. And I know we're only 3 episodes in and I don't know what happens next. And I still firmly believe we are headed towards a Conrad endgame. But man, we go far down the Jeremiah path.
Oh, we're in deep. And I don't know if I like it.
I don't either.
Okay, well, we'll talk more about that as we get into the episodes. I think we'll have more to say based on what we learn in these first 3 episodes.
Definitely.
Should we get into it?
Let's do it. Let's start with episode 1. We're going to fly through the recap, guys, just to kind of remind you of everything that happens.
So we pick up not long after we left off in season 2, where Belly is getting ready to go to Finch College, and she's not going for volleyball. She says it's because it has everything she wants, including Jeremiah. Taylor is also going. That's Belly's best friend. Very exciting to see them at the same college. It is interesting. The girls decided not to room together to force themselves to meet new people, which would never happen.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But go off. I like that for them. And then we also find out that Steven is at Princeton and he and Taylor are still dating. So this is like right after season 2.
And then we swiftly jump to 3 years later. I was on the floor, okay? We get half of one scene, and I'm like geared up for like, oh my gosh, great. We're going to see their first year in college. Incredible. Love it. Nope. 3 years later. And so now Jeremiah is a senior and Belly is a junior.
First off, what does this show have against us seeing a relationship play out happily? At least in the happy times.
Not possible.
When she was dating Conrad, we immediately flashed forward to like them not being together anymore and then had to work. We had to like fill in the pieces of why they broke up. I wanted to see what her relationship was like with him when they were happy. So I can really judge this, you know?
Yeah, me too. You're totally right.
Same thing with Jeremiah. What, you're telling me they've been together for 3+ years? I thought it was 4, actually. They've been together that long and then we don't see it?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, especially because the first scene gears you up so much to like see their freshman year of college. And maybe this is so obvious if you read the book, or maybe the book goes through those years. I don't know. But it was a kind of, so it felt like such a bait and switch to after one scene, then go fast forward. And they're still together, and we have no idea what's happened. It's kind of wild.
Rude. My jaw dropped.
Same.
Shocking. Then Jeremiah finds out that he has to repeat a semester to graduate. So, like, he's planning to graduate, and then it turns out, oh no, he's not going to be able to graduate. He has to repeat a semester in the fall. What was he planning to do? I actually can't remember.
I think intern with his dad.
That sounds maybe right, yeah. And Belly, meanwhile, gets into her dream study abroad program in Paris, but it's right when Jeremiah finds out that he has to repeat a semester. And so she doesn't want to tell him because, first of all, he's like gotten this really bad news and she doesn't want to tell him her happy news. But then it's also because he's like, oh, well, it's fine. We'll be together. And she's like, actually, I'm planning to like dip out next semester. So you're going to be by yourself, sir. Wow.
We also see that Steven and Taylor have been off and on this whole time, and they are now secretly hooking up, even though they're each in a relationship with other people. We also see that Steven has now graduated college and works for a VC firm. I think he actually works for Jeremiah and Conrad's dad. Even though we don't see it in this episode, I think we see that in a later episode.
How did you feel about the whole Steven and Taylor cheating on their partners thing?
I mean, I don't love it, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. They just like can't get rid of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that meme that's like, the summer we became cheaters?
No. I'm a little surprised we didn't get the, what's the Taylor Swift cheating song? High Infidelity. Maybe it's coming.
Maybe it wasn't in the budget.
Yeah. We got some other good music instead.
We also find out in this episode that Conrad and Jeremiah are supposed to give a speech at the opening dedication ceremony for Susanna's memorial garden. That's their mother who passed away. But then Conrad gets his dream internship while he's in med school at Stanford, which means that he can't go to the dedication.
We also see Conrad get closer to one of his med school friends and confesses to her that he avoids being around Belly at all because of his feelings. And just like the general awkwardness that he feels that she picked Jeremiah. So we can tell this still like is very haunting for him.
Now this friendship is a really interesting dynamic to me.
Yeah.
This is Agnes, his med school friend. She's kind of like quirky and nerdy and fun and has this like unrequited love for Conrad, but has just kind of accepted that he'll never love her.
Do you think he never will?
I think that he's going to give up on Belly and be like, all right, I'm going to try and make things happen with this like perfectly nice girl. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
kind of rooting for them. I'm finding in this season, I think because I'm just like less invested in Belly and Jere and they're annoying me a little bit, I'm like really rooting for Taylor and Steven and Conrad and Agnes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really am.
I actually take back what I said about people not bullying this season. I have seen that the actress who plays Agnes got on TikTok and told people to stop being mean.
She's like one of my favorite characters. How rude.
People are being mean to her. Probably people who are like team Conrad Belly.
I'm sure,
they just don't want anyone to interfere. But I will say her TikTok, hilarious. She's wonderful.
Amazing.
I really like her. She's a good follow. Then we have the mic drop moment of the episode where Belly finds out that Jeremiah cheated on her over spring break in Cabo with a girl named Lacey Marone. And technically they were on a break because they had this like breakup beforehand, but he never told her that he hooked up with somebody else. And then they play You're Losing Me by Taylor Swift.
The squeal I scrimped. Okay. When they played this, I was so excited. That's one of my favorite things about this show is like I know there's going to be some really good Taylor Swift songs threaded throughout. And when they played this, which is one of my favorites of all time, it was so good.
And what I love about the Taylor Swift song choices is that they're always really, really intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbreaking to play over this.
Yes.
The music budget on this show, insane.
Chef's kiss.
First of all, I can't imagine like how much money they have to pay to get the rights to Taylor Swift songs. But then they're also playing Chappell Roan, Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, Jinx. Yeah.
Everybody. But it's worth it because we're doing what we're doing right now. Like this is one of the only shows I know of where people really pick out the music because it's popular music, so it's music that everyone knows, but it's also always extremely like emotionally relevant to what's happening in the scene that it's in. And that I don't think there's a lot of shows that like put that much thought into it and have the budget to do it.
Totally.
So it's really fun.
I agree. Okay, so there were some Easter eggs in this episode that were kind of fun. The first one, my sister Joy picked this out immediately, by the way. I had no idea. There's a photo on Belly's dorm room wall of her and Jere dressed up for Halloween as Laura Jean and Peter Kavinsky from To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Wow, cute. I'm so impressed that Joy picked this out. Wow.
Oh, she's obsessed with the Jenny Han universe. She's probably listening to this right now.
I love that. Hi, Joy.
For those who don't know, To All the Boys I've Loved Before is another Jenny Han adaptation. And this is but one of the references to a Jenny Han adaptation in here. Okay, another thing I thought was kind of interesting. This, the internet sleuths have figured out. This was not me. In a teaser trailer for The Summer I Turned Pretty, back before it came out, Taylor Swift's Daylight plays over scenes of Jere and Belly together. And then all of a sudden, the music cuts. Belly opens the door and Conrad is standing there and the song switches to Red. And the exact lyric it switches to is Loving Him Was Red. People noticed in this episode that Belly wears red when she's with Conrad and blue when she's with Jere.
No!
Like Losing Him was blue. She's losing Jere.
Guys, I'm gasping.
The gasp you grasped.
The gasp I grasped. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. I love it. And I love that it's Taylor Swift. And I love that they're Easter egging.
Do you know what I need more of in my life?
Hmm.
Swifties who care about Easter eggs and do that in their creative work.
Yes.
Because Jenny Han, diehard Swiftie, wrote these books with Taylor Swift albums playing in the background. And I know that everything she does is intentional because she appreciates that from Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an amazing Easter egg, Jenny Han. Love it.
Love, 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 love.
Which is another +1 to the idea that she's going to end up with Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Must.
For sure.
Must. That's what I just learned. For sure. Is we're right.
Yeah. We're right. We're right.
God, it's so crazy because I remember being so diehard Team Jelly in our season 2 episode. And even just you saying like daylight was playing over scenes of Jere and Belly just makes me like roll my eyes. So I'm just like, ugh. Get him off my screen.
She did such a good job this season of making me turn so quickly with just a few details. Like obviously this cheating thing, we're going to get into that more. That puts a bad taste in your mouth, even though they were on a break, which is very reminiscent. I know that Megan, you didn't watch Friends, but to anybody else who watched Friends, the we were on a break thing. It's just, I think it's a reference to that.
Mm.
Anyway, I just think that she did a really good job in 3 episodes of giving us reasons to not like Jere anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And in our first episode on The Summer I Turned Pretty, our original episode, we played a red flag game. Do you remember that?
Yes, I forgot. We did that.
I picked out every red flag that either of the boys did throughout the whole show so far up to that point. And you told me whether you thought they were a red flag or not. And then we said who did the red flag. Conrad, full of red flags, season 1.
Yeah.
Jere, a few not so good ones. This season, all the red flags for Jere.
Yeah.
None for Connie.
No. She's good.
She's good.
She's good. I feel like we fell right into it.
We fell into her trap.
And I'm happy to. For Jenny Han, I'm happy to. I'll go down any road she wants me to.
Okay, the last Easter egg is that Olivia Rodrigo's song Lacey plays while Belly cries about Jere hooking up with Lacey.
I clocked this immediately and just died. I just died.
Died?
I had to rewind it actually because I heard the song playing and then I went, oh, they did not just do that. Was her name Lacey? Was her name actually Lacey? And I went back and it was. I was so impressed.
So impressed. I'm sure that's, well, no, I think Lacey was, wait, this is so crazy. I'm pretty sure Lacey is in the books, at least from what the internet has told me.
Mm.
And if Lacey is in the books, then that means that she wasn't named after Olivia Rodrigo's song Lacey to purposely make that happen.
Just coincidence.
It's just a coincidence.
Jenny Han is magic.
She is. She manifested that.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get into episode 2 now.
So episode 2 picks up with Belly crying about Jere hooking up with Lacey and Olivia Rodrigo's song Lacey playing. But then we immediately flash back to right before Belly and Jere go on spring break. And we see the big argument they had where they break up, which from my perspective, it definitely doesn't seem like they're really breaking up. Because it's just sort of like one of those fights where they're like, I guess we should break up. Yes, I guess so. Fine, whatever, bye. It was like that, you know? It was not like, it did not seem serious to me. And we find out that they stopped talking for a week and then made up right when he came back in town after spring break and apologized to her. But he doesn't tell her. But at the same time, like, I feel like I could tell that he really thought they were broken up. And she really didn't think they were broken up.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get into it. First off, thank you for reminding me that Lacey was in this episode, not the previous one. I wish that you were a Friends watcher right now because this debate happened in Friends and I was actually on the side of the person who was like, we were on a break.
Yeah.
And so in this instance, I was like, wow, Jere, I hate that you did that. Really immature. You shouldn't have done it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I kind of get how you thought that was okay.
Same. I agree.
But then some people are saying they think that he was being manipulative and like purposely caused this really stupid fight before the trip, the boys' trip. Went on this trip with the intention of hooking up with other people and then came back. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
I think what we're getting from Jeremiah is that he's a little bit careless and he's a little bit absent-minded and a little bit, which I think like lends to his like being present and being really fun and goofy. I think those are sort of two sides of the same coin of him. And I think his like absent-mindedness is not this manipulative planner. So I think they had the argument, and I think he just like didn't think deeply about it. Like, I don't think he was super like,
I don't think he thinks.
No, I don't either.
About anything.
No, that's what I mean.
I think he's got 2 brain cells kicking around in there.
I think it's empty up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they had this argument, and I really think his thoughts are just like 3-word sentences, you know? Like, I love Belly. Belly, break up with me. On spring break, Lacey is hot. Lacey wants to hook up with me. Belly broke up with me. I hook up with Lacey. Oopsie. Yay. You know? She's never gonna find out. Truly, I don't think it was super malicious. But then, I guess to your point, later on, he does say that he like cried afterwards. But actually, now that I'm thinking about that, he says that he cried, but I think it was more of a like he felt bad about himself, not like he felt bad. Like he felt like he didn't deserve Belly, not that he felt bad like he betrayed her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think those are different.
Yeah, I think maybe he was crying about the fact that he didn't have Belly anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think you convinced me that he isn't capable of the manipulation, but like definitely wasn't being smart.
Yeah.
He's impulsive and he doesn't think things through.
I don't think it was okay, but I do think like they're throwing cheating around a lot, and I just don't really think it was that.
Yeah. Although they didn't explicitly break up. It is such a messy thing. I get it. And I understand. Here's the thing that is super valid. Belly being upset.
Definitely. Yes.
So valid.
Yes. I would be devastated also. So I get it. But
and then it was like 4 more months or something.
That is the worst part, actually, to me, is that he doesn't tell her and then lets her find out from Lacey at a party on accident. Is bad.
Yeah.
That is really bad.
That's really bad.
That feels like an even bigger, or even, maybe not even bigger, but like an equal sized betrayal. You know, like you messed up and did this really stupid, messy, hurtful thing that like maybe or maybe wasn't exactly cheating, but like wasn't good. And then didn't tell the person thinking that they would never find out, but then they did. It's bad.
Yeah, if he had just said something, she would have been really mad. She probably would have broken up with him, but I think they would have reconciled faster because I think she would have understood like, oh, he really did think we were broken up. He made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next, we talked about how Steven and Taylor have been hooking up, cheating on their partners with each other. Steven breaks up with his girlfriend to be with Taylor. He tells her this while they're in the car, and they get in an argument because Taylor doesn't want them to be a serious relationship. I actually think it's like a self-destructive thing on Taylor's part. Like, it's not that she really doesn't want them to be in a serious relationship, but she feels like they work better when they're not.
Mm-hmm. And I think she was just freaked out by his, like, we should be together exclusively, and I want this serious thing with you, and I care about you. I think I might love you. I think he says that.
Yeah.
I think she's just like, whoa, this was like a secret, fun, dirty thing.
And she has a boyfriend. Yeah.
Right.
Who we've only seen, like, for 1 second.
Yeah.
Taylor is upset, and she gets out of the car. And then when Steven pulls back into the road, he gets into a car accident.
Then we jump away from the Steven and Taylor story for a second, and we see another flashback from Belly, where she remembers over Christmas break when she went to Cousins alone to hang out at the house, and Conrad showed up, even though he wasn't supposed to be there. When this happened, I thought, oh my God, they're going to hook up. And we're going to see that she's been so mad at Jeremiah. She did the same thing, but with his brother. No, that doesn't happen. They do spend a lot of time together, and I think it's very sweet, but they don't hook up. But they also don't ever tell anyone that they spent this whole day or two, night or two, I don't know how long, together in the house. And like nothing nefarious happened. But I think it just goes to show how much they both still have feelings. The fact that they didn't want anybody to know that they were alone together for that long.
Yeah, and their emotional connection was what was intimate about it, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute also. She had chocolate like all over her face.
It was so cute. And she was in a red sweatshirt. Red.
Red.
Yep.
Yep. You're right. Loving him was red.
We also see that Belly's parents are hanging out at this like conference for academics because they're both professors. And this is cute. We also see that they sleep together, which is fun. I'm rooting for this also.
Because they're divorced, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because she had a boyfriend last season, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or 2 seasons ago, I can't remember. So then we go back to Steven after his car accident. He's in a coma and he has broken ribs. They don't know if he'll be okay. And then Conrad calls in a favor with his boss at the clinic in California. At the same time, Jere comes to wait in the waiting room, but we actually never see him, I don't think. And Belly and Taylor are just like here together. They're the only people who are at this hospital knowing what's going on. And they can't reach Belly's parents because they got really drunk and are asleep and their phones died.
Yes.
Taylor and Belly are going through it. And then we do see this really, I think, important moment where Taylor is just at Steven's side and she's just sobbing and confessing her love to him. And we know that like she really wants to make things work with him now and she's really sorry. And she even admits to why she is reserved and kind of puts up walls with him. It's very sweet.
Mm-hmm. Steven ends up being okay. He actually recovers completely fine from his accident. In part, this is thanks to Conrad talking to his boss at Stanford, who knows the head of neurology at the hospital that Steven is at. So the head of neurology takes over Steven's case, and he recovers just fine. When he wakes up, Taylor is there. He tells her that she was right about them not working, and that he doesn't actually want to be with her.
Tragic, because that's the last thing he remembers.
Right. He remembers the argument. And this is right when she's about to confess that she does want to give it a real shot. She's like built herself up to actually be vulnerable with him for the first time, or maybe the first time in a really long time.
She went home and showered so that she looks pretty when she talks to him.
Yeah, and like her mom gave her a pep talk, is this whole thing. And then he wakes up and is just immediately lets her down, it feels like.
Sad. And then Taylor is not, I don't think, emotionally mature enough with her communication that like she doesn't explain this epiphany she had or anything. She's just like, okay, yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. So we know Conrad called in this favor with his boss. His boss actually asked him if he needed to take a day off to deal with what was going on with Steven. And he says no. And then he actually ends up just being distracted all day long anyway while he's there. He mislabels a vial and his boss fires him because she can't have a doctor being distracted like that with patients' lives involved.
Back at the hospital, Belly and Taylor have this conversation where Taylor tells Belly that she should just be with Jeremiah if she wants to be with Jeremiah. This is coming off the heels of her and Steven's little breakdown. And I think this really like confirms to Belly that it's okay to forgive Jeremiah. And so she runs out into the waiting room because Jeremiah has been waiting for her this whole entire time and like hasn't expected her to see him, has just like been there in case she needed him. And they make up, and right outside the hospital, Jeremiah asks her to marry him, and she says yes. I was screaming.
Yeah, tell me more about your reaction, because unfortunately the trailer kind of spoiled this for me, so I knew it was going to happen.
I was spoiled on the fact that there was an engagement between them in like an article or something when I like started researching for this episode before I had seen this. So I knew that that was coming, which was shocking to me. Mm-hmm. I did not think, I thought we were going to jump forward in time again or something. I did not think it was going to happen here as college students outside the hospital with no plan, no ring, just
broken up.
Yeah, broken up. The scream by Scrimped was crazy. I can't believe this happened. I cannot believe this happened.
I can't either. I watched this with my sister and my stepmom, and the three of us were just like, what You can't end it there.
No, I think when I was spoiled that there was going to be an engagement between Belly and Jere, I thought it was going to be years later. Jeremiah was going to like put so much thought and effort into the plan, ask her with a ring, the whole thing. And then Belly was going to like half-heartedly say yes and then break it off. I realized once this happened that I had this whole like plot line in my head of what I thought was going to happen, and it did not. So it was crazy.
It was a plot twist for sure. I think what makes it feel so not good is not only just like the cheating thing that just happened, but like that flashback we got of the recent Christmas break with Conrad and how we so know that she still has feelings for him and vice versa. Ugh. And she has been with Jeremiah for a long time, but it is like, why?
Yeah.
Indeed. Anyway.
Anywho.
Here's an Easter egg from the episode. In the scene where Conrad and Belly are together over Christmas break and cousins, Belly wakes up one morning and heads downstairs to the kitchen, and Conrad has left already. And he's left a note to Belly saying how good it was to see her. And the note it's a Post-it. It's on a crossword puzzle. And one of the clues is novel by author Jeni Han. P.S. I blank love you. Belly then fills out the clue and adds the word still. P.S. I still love you.
No. I completely missed this. I saw her write the word still and I was like, oh, he left an easy one.
Well, and you could see that he had definitely written it before. Like he had solved it and then erased the letters so that she could fill it out.
And it says, I still love you.
And it's Jeni Han. It's her other book.
Okay. This makes me want to watch the rest of the season so bad. I wish it was all out.
I feel like I need to go and like comb through each episode to find more Easter eggs. There have to be more.
There have to be so many. I'm sure there's going to be articles.
I'm sure.
Okay, let's dive into episode 3. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Jeremiah and Belly spend the night in Jeremiah's room at his fraternity house, and in the morning he proposes again in his room with a ring this time. Also lackluster in my opinion.
Yes.
Not the ring, but the...
I think we need to talk about the ring.
Okay, let's talk about it.
We can talk about the proposal too. I agree. The proposal, like the actual presenting the ring, not super special, but fine, you know?
Which I will say, I am actually all for having a super low-key engagement. I think my parents had that. Like my mom like helped my dad move or something, and then they got engaged. Cute. And he was meant to do it like the week before, and then they went to go visit his family in Colorado, and there was a whole party, but he hadn't done it. He chickened out, and then he did it like when they were just together at their new place or something.
Aww.
And it's always such a cute story to me, and so I love the idea of people getting engaged like in their own house casually. I think that's lovely. But the fact that it felt like this rash, impulsive decision feels not great.
And then it was like, oh, by the way, here's this ring in my nightstand.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people on the internet are really making fun of this ring.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna first step back and say, I am all for a dainty, tiny engagement ring.
1000% agree.
I think that it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as you love it. There was thought put into it. Maybe even not. Maybe you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But I know that Jeni Han did this so purposely to make a point.
Mm.
And there are times where Belly like flashes her hand and I can't even see the damn stone.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are some really funny memes on the internet if you'd like to indulge.
I will be doing that.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting because Jeremiah actually does kind of have all the money in the world. He just is trying not to use his dad's money, which I also appreciate in a way. But I don't know. There was something like not meaningful about this ring.
I think there's a through line throughout this whole season, and I think it's going to continue to be exacerbated, that the comparison of the two brothers in this season seems to be Conrad is the more thoughtful, planned out, intentional one, and Jeremiah is very rash, impulsive, doesn't remember things, doesn't like the whole thing with his graduation. Like, that seems to be like the contrast that they're trying to draw in this season. And I think the ring and the engagement does the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It like really illustrates visually, like he didn't think about this. He didn't plan it. There wasn't intention. You could view it as very romantic. I don't, but I can like see how in the moment, I guess Belly is like into it. Sure. And the ring, I think, is the same thing. You know, like it wasn't planned. It wasn't saved for. It wasn't super special, I don't think.
I think the Conrad version of this would have been like, okay, we're already engaged. Now let's go pick out your ring together with my budget so that it's something that you like.
Yeah.
Or here's this ring that I got you that made me think of you because of XYZ reason. When we have more money, we can upgrade it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted you to have something to wear, you know?
Yes, or like I talked to Laurel and she felt like you were going to want X, Y, and Z thing. And so I surprised you with this, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Yeah, it's just like the lack of thought.
Yeah.
But anyway, good memes about that.
Can't wait.
Belly tells Taylor about their engagement, and Taylor reacts in the same way that we are all feeling, where she's just like, what are you doing?
She like chokes on her croissant. Yeah. She's like, I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just say?
Not a supportive friend at all in this moment.
No.
But she's the us, I think.
Absolutely, yes. And then we go back to the Taylor and Steven storyline. We see Taylor confessing all of this to her mom. Her mom is like her best friend. I think her mom maybe was a teen mom or a young mom. Either way, is definitely a single mom. And so it's sort of they give me Gilmore Girls vibes a little bit of like they're best friends. And Taylor's mom has been giving her advice this whole time of how to talk to Steven. And so in an effort to get them back together, because she knows that Taylor really does want to be with Steven, Taylor's mom calls Steven and asks him to help her with her salon's books, like her accounting. And Steven, during this process, finds out that the salon is going under. It's going to have to close like this month because she's out of money. And this is also because Taylor's mom's ex-boyfriend was like running the business side of her salon for a long time and they just broke up. And so we get the impression that Taylor's mom probably doesn't even know how bad it is.
And we get like another miscommunication moment between Taylor and Steven where you can tell Steven's actually like, hey, I'll come, I'll help you. And he's like kind of wanting to make things work with Taylor again, or at least make them both be okay, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor's like, oh no, that's okay. You've done enough. Bye. And
she's embarrassed. We can tell she's embarrassed, I think, that like,
yeah,
her mom's business is going under and then he got involved and her mom got him involved and she didn't want that. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah, devastated. The whole thing is really sad.
So one thing about this Susanna dedication ceremony that's coming up is that Jeremiah and Belly are convinced that they're going to announce to their families that they are engaged at this dedication or like right after, because all their family members will be in one place for the most part, except for Conrad, who isn't coming. Then Belly's mom and dad are thinking that Belly is on to them for being together and hooking up again. So they're like, actually, let's have Belly's dad not come to the dedication ceremony so that they don't get suspicious of us, which is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And Belly's like a little let down, and she and Jeremiah just kind of decide that they're not going to tell anyone. So Steven, Belly, Laurel, and then Adam, Jeremiah and Conrad's dad, and Jeremiah are at the dedication ceremony. Jeremiah gives a speech that's really good, actually. It's sweet.
And Conrad shows up during the dedication ceremony, I think.
Yes, you're right. After the speech, we see Conrad, and it's this moment between him and Belly that's just like electric. And then Adam is like, oh, give your sister a hug. And so Conrad gives Belly a hug and like lifts her up. Awkward.
Hate it. Hate. Why would he call her his sister? Ew.
I don't know. And
they used to date. Ew.
I know.
Ugh.
I know. I think he's just like oblivious to everything, that guy.
Yeah.
And I think that Conrad decided to show up for the dedication ceremony because the reason why he was avoiding it is because he didn't want to see Belly. And then Agnes, his friend in med school, was like, no, you really need to conquer this and get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gets all brave and he comes down to be with them. And then, unfortunately, they go to lunch
During lunch, Belly decides that now is the time to announce the engagement. And previously, I think her and Jeremiah have this like short conversation that's like, oh, we should let today be about your mom, or we should blah, blah, blah. Because you can tell they're like getting a little scared to tell everybody, which I think is in large part because Conrad is there. I think Jeremiah especially was like, we should tell him separately. And then at lunch, I think Jeremiah and Conrad's dad is like being kind of a jerk. And Belly is like almost in this way of standing up for Jeremiah. She's like, well, Jeremiah does have a great future. Actually, we have a great future together. And then says, because we're getting married. And Laurel, her mom's face, just is stunned. Like everyone is just like, is that a joke? You're kidding, right? That's not real. Everyone, like Steven, Jeremiah's dad, everybody. And I think Jeremiah's dad says, well, you're not getting your mother's ring. And which is rude and horrible. And Belly is like, I don't need it, and pulls out her ring from Jeremiah and puts it on.
That's where the memes come from.
I can't wait. I can imagine. Everyone's mad. Everyone has a negative reaction, which does make me really sad for them.
And Conrad's just straight up sad, like devastated.
Yeah. Like has no real like outward reaction, but we can tell that he's not okay.
This was like his worst fear, to show up and be around Belly and Jeremiah happy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're engaged.
Yeah. And they leave the restaurant, and Laurel makes Belly come with her instead of staying in Cousins with Jeremiah, which is interesting to me because Belly is 20.
I know.
And they're getting married. So it was kind of weird that, and maybe just shows that maybe they're not ready to be getting married. The fact that when Laurel was like, you're not allowed to stay here with him, you're coming with me. And then she was basically like, okay, fine, mom. And then was kind of, that was weird to me.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, why is she just going with them? Why isn't she just like, no, I'm not going to go?
Right.
I don't know. The magic of Laurel, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that was a really weird way to end it. I also have to mention the thing that bothered me the most, probably of these 3 episodes, was that when they're at lunch, they're at this fancy restaurant. Laurel says that it's on her. She's going to pay the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adam immediately goes, in that case, and he orders the most expensive thing on the menu. It's $75. And then Jeremiah gets it too. And then Belly gets really nervous. Her family has never had as much money as the Fishers. And so she's like, oh, I'll get the tomato bisque, like the cheapest thing that's just an appetizer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adam decides to order like another appetizer. That's
the seafood
really expensive.
tower, like the most expensive thing on the whole menu. Because he's like, and then he makes some stupid comment like, I can't let Belly starve before the entrees.
And it's like she purposely chose the smallest thing so that her mom wouldn't spend more money. So it backfired. Meanwhile, sweet baby angel Connie, he orders a reasonably priced thing on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
I think the cheapest entree.
I think he just gets the salmon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, yeah, this was also huge for me. This like emotionally, it just stabbed me in the heart for some reason. Like, yeah, I really hated it. And I hated that Jeremiah just didn't even realize and immediately just ordered what his dad got, probably because he wants his dad's approval. He's not thinking about the money aspect of it at all from Belly's perspective. All of it. Obnoxious.
2 brain cells.
2.
Maybe. At best.
Yeah. Ugh. Thank you for mentioning that because that was also like heartbreaking to me.
I couldn't not mention it. It bothered me.
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple Easter eggs in this episode. This one, I don't even know if it's really an Easter egg, but it was hard to miss. There was this giant 10 Things I Hate About You poster in Steven's room while he's recovering. I remember being like, that must be an Easter egg because it was just so giant and like right there in your face. People are trying to figure out what it means online. And I think it's a reference to the love-hate relationship between Kat and Patrick in 10 Things I Hate About You, and therefore Steven and Taylor.
Yeah.
I think their relationship is just mirroring that one a little bit.
Yep, totally.
But fun, nonetheless.
I like it.
And then finally, okay, the last scene we get in this episode broke my heart. We just see Conrad walk out of the restaurant on his own, and he's just standing there in his suit by himself, and he looks like that man standing emoji, you know?
Yeah.
And it just zooms out, and it's so sad. I actually wanted to bawl just seeing that.
Connie, baby.
It sounds like nobody ever sees him.
Yeah.
Like he's never home. Nobody was like, how does Conrad feel about them being engaged? Like
Yeah.
Steven should have known.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just leave him by himself. Conrad. I'm so team Conrad now. But anyway, the Easter egg is that the Radiohead song No Surprises plays during this scene. We know that Conrad is a big Radiohead fan because he's got Radiohead posters in his apartment or something like that. And one of the lyrics of this song is, "This is my final fit, my final belly ache, with no alarms and no surprises." Belly ache.
Ugh. No, bellyache.
Sad.
We needed like LOML also to play right here by Taylor Swift, Loss of My Life.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Ugh. Ouch. I can't wait to see how Belly and Conrad end up together because I've never been more sure that that's what's happening and we have a long way to go.
Do you have any ideas of what might happen?
No, ever since they time jumped, I just feel so thrown for a loop because I feel like there's tricks in the bag, like tricks in play that I wasn't expecting. Like, are they going to get married and then divorced? No way.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I feel like they're going to call off the wedding.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think?
No, I was just going to say, I bet there's going to be this like big cinematic moment of her at the wedding because it's going to be that summer. And she's like walking down the aisle and she sees Conrad, best man, like next to Jeremiah, and she just can't do it. And she like turns around, runs back down, or she says something. I don't know. There's going to be I think that's what
like
it's
a Love
gotta be.
is Blind.
Yes,
moment.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. And I do not. And for this reason, I'm out.
Wait, I think you're right because it would be just like Jenny Han to like drive the knife in further with Conrad having to watch her walk down the aisle for someone else.
Yep.
Also, I don't think she should date any brother. I'm pretty sure I've said this the whole entire time. But like it's kind of messed up now.
Yeah.
What is she going to do? Get back with Conrad and then there's a heartbroken Jeremiah the whole time? That sucks. She was with Jeremiah for longer.
Okay, here's what I'm manifesting. We get the wedding scene. They break it off. We get Champagne Problems plays, okay? And then maybe we time jump again. And later on, Belly and Conrad run into each other. Like, they moved to the same city and didn't realize it or something. She falls out of touch with the whole family. And then they just, like, happen to see each other at a coffee shop or something. We get Begin Again. Boom. They start over.
Wow. I love that.
He's a doctor. I don't even know what she wants to do. What is she in school for? Oh, sport psychology or something?
I can't remember.
I think it is. I think it's sports psychology, which means she could totally work at a hospital one day.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Love it. That's a great one.
What do you think?
I don't know. You know that guy that's in Jeremiah's fraternity who was playing video games and has a mustache?
Yes.
And that Belly doesn't really like him too much?
Yep.
I would like for this to happen. Okay? The wedding gets broken off. Belly ends up with Conrad. Jeremiah's sad. But then, do you know who gives him comfort?
Video
This
game
guy
boy.
in the fraternity. What's his
Yes.
name? Redbird or something?
Redbird, yes.
Is that his name?
Yes.
He's super cute.
Mm.
I think Jeremiah could get with him.
Yep, I
Because
like
they're
that.
really good friends. And Jeremiah's bi.
And they also made a big point of that character, which is kind of weird given they've spent so little time like in college now. Like we're on the 3rd episode and we're already out of it, really.
Yeah, and they've spent so little time with Belly's new best friend that's her roommate.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they spend time on this guy, you know?
I like that.
He's going to come back.
I like it.
We'll see.
And Steven and Taylor are going to be together forever.
That's 100%. That's a fact.
Must.
I love them. They're my favorite characters.
And Belly and Steven's parents are going to get back together.
That's also a fact. Yes.
Yep.
Manifesting.
Yep. Wow. I kind of want to do this for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Can you guys let us know and just say yes that you want that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell us your answer, but only if it's yes. No, I'm just kidding. If you do want it, though, let us know.
If we can keep deep diving it every few weeks, that would be fun.
I would love that.
Well, thank you so much for listening.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at What We're Watching Pod.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.